Yo, 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 what's good? It's your boy, Brooklyn 80s. Back with another episode of The Perspective. We live and direct tonight. You heard? We're going to be breaking down the Elite Eight. We're going to be breaking down the Final Four. And we're going to talk about who we think is going to win it all. All four of these teams is capable, so it's interesting. We might touch on the transfer portal. We might touch on Juju's return to dominance. You know, a few things we got to talk about tonight. We might touch on the CBA. You know, we might touch on the drafts is looking different now. Real money. You want to talk about UConn's bandwagon? I mean, I don't know if UConn got a bandwagon. They playing their best basketball right now. I don't think you crazy if you I don't think you crazy if you picking UConn. Make sure y'all don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you're watching this for the first time, I talk women's basketball. I talk all things women's basketball. So make sure you got subscribed to the channel. Mika, what's up? Real Money says, nah, they playing elite. No lie. Now, that's a fact. They definitely playing elite basketball.
What's good?
Ain't not much, you know. Just trying to let people, you know, taking my time trying to let people join in.
Yo, this Final Four been getting busy.
That's a fact.
The whole tournament was getting busy. That's a fact. I was just like, yo, it's gonna be something light. Then somebody said Juju went down. I was like, what?
That's a fact, man. Shocked the whole world. Definitely shocked the whole world.
Yeah.
But this just adds to her story, though. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely, most definitely.
Yeah, I'm not on that train. Real Money. I do think, I'm not gonna lie to you, I do think UConn does have the upper hand, but counting out South Carolina is crazy. Right? We all know that South Carolina is South Carolina. You get what I'm saying? Rashad.
Yo, I'm
brother.
in here.
You in here, brother?
What's good? What's good, everybody? What's good, everybody? Hold on. I gotta send this to my
Yeah, definitely get it linked. Get it. Yep, definitely get your thing. We just chilling right now. It's just the intro, so you ain't missed nothing. We having small talk
for sure
right now.
All right, baby.
Rashad Mullet. Yo, this is an honor, Brody.
Man, no, ain't no thing, bro. What's good, chat? The Live King. I'm here with the Live King. What's poppin', chat?
I don't know if I'm the Live King no more. I took a little break and it seemed like people forgot about me, but let's see if I can help them remember.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know how the algorithm go, but hey, once you was a Live King once, you always a Live King, bro.
Facts. Listen, I can't even take credit. I got to give a lot of credit. I don't know if you heard of him, but my brother, K-Sap from Simply Ball Dropping,
yeah,
I got to give him all the credit in the world, because if he didn't put the battery in my back to, start podcasting, I wouldn't be here doing this. So shout out to him. He's the real Live King. I'm just trying to do my part. You feel me?
Nah, I heard it, bro. And definitely going to continue to grow and go forward as long as you continue. You know what I'm saying? Shedding the light on others. That's what it's all about, bro. It's all about community and building up all this stuff, bro. For real.
Absolutely. That's why when I saw you, I had to reach out. I was like, yo, this is somebody who's been doing this a lot longer than me. I mean, you actually be at at the games at times. You actually get to touch and talk to the players. Pause. You know what I'm saying? I'm from New York. You know, I got to throw that in there.
Yeah. That's you in Brooklyn?
I'm from Brooklyn. I'm in Queens now.
Okay. Like to me, being from the South, that's all the same. Like,
listen, I got a family from the South. My mom in North Carolina right now.
Oh, there it is. My mom from North Carolina.
Yeah, sure. my mother family, our whole side from North to East Carolina.
Okay, yeah. East Carolina. Okay, for sure.
Yeah,
So salute to East Carolina. They just won the college championship a few years ago. I know it was a random stat. I don't know. It was the first thing that popped in my mind, but yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I used to go down there. I used to go to North Carolina every summer when I was a kid. So I definitely got a lot of love and a lot of memories in North Carolina. So shout out to North Carolina.
Shout out North Carolina, man. Shout out South Carolina.
That's a fact. Guess what? My father's family is from South Carolina, so I got history in both states. There you go.
My pops is actually from Jersey. But his mom is from South Carolina, and his mom's entire family.
Got you. Both my parents are from Brooklyn, so that's how they met.
Okay,
Both of my grandmothers went to Brooklyn, and obviously had my parents, and they met. But like I said, both of their families. My father's whole family is from South Carolina. I think it's Sumner, something like that. Something like that,
like Sumter.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and then my mother's family is from like the Greenville area in North Carolina.
Yeah, Yeah. Shout out. That's the country, both them places.
That's a fact. That's an apple top fact.
The country, and New York is mad cool. I love New York. Going up there. I'm going back this summer.
Oh, definitely. We gotta link up.
Yeah, my homie, he wanted me to stop by for the Cleo Soul show.
Okay.
I was like, nah, I gotta stack up for a little bit because I just moved and whatnot.
Facts. Rashad, this is Mika Chu. Mika Chu is she also from Brooklyn, but she also used to.
What's up?
She used to play ball. You know, she was she was a point guard. Mika Chu.
Yeah, point guard.
Facts. All right. Facts, B.
And Rashad is he's a dope YouTuber. You know, he covers basketball. I don't know if you cover other sports, but you could basically break down your history just to let the people know, and also let Mika Chu know.
For sure. Yeah, man. So pretty much like you said, like my main job, my day job, I'm in media. So I've been doing that for over 10 years now, getting up there in age. And that's pretty much what I do. The specialty is sports, but you know, I have covered politics and other stuff like that. And then YouTube, it kind of like, I used to just upload my work on YouTube, and then during the pandemic I like just gave it a try, and once I like played a character a little bit, it kind of like I got a little attention, and then I started pursuing YouTube after that. So that's really what it is. I took a couple years off, but now I'm really back, like, you know, pursuing it and stuff like that. So that's me for real.
Dope. All right, y'all. Let's start talking about the Elite Eight a little bit before we get into the Final Four. I don't know. Did y'all watch the games?
Yeah, no, for sure.
All right, bro.
Yeah.
So the first game I want to talk about is South Carolina. Let me get the games up here. Play the highlight while we talk about it. South Carolina versus Duke. My thoughts on this game was South Carolina almost lost.
Again.
This was a defensive game. But that's the way Duke play, though. Duke like to play those defensive games. My issue with South Carolina is South Carolina, they too unpredictable. They have you never know who's gonna step up, right? Sometimes it's Fawali. Sometimes it's Joyce Edwards off the bench. Other times it's Chloe Kitts. You know, I don't know what's going on with Tahina Powell right now. She in the slump. You know what I'm saying? So that's my only issue with South Carolina. We know they're going to play defense, so we're not worried about that. We know that they well coach. We're not worried about that. But they always find a way to get it done, though. To their credit, they find ways to get it done. But yeah, that was my thoughts on this game, man. It's like a lot of the guards. I love what Raven Johnson brings to the game. I love what a lot of these players bring to the game, but it seems like some of them is just they too much of system players. They don't know how to get a bucket when it's time to get a bucket, right? Even this game, I feel like the fact that Duke had Ashlyn Jackson and her ability to get to the three and knock down threes is what kept Duke in this game. Because, like I said, this was an ugly game. Two defensive teams, not a lot of scoring, but Ashlyn Jackson was able to knock down that three for Duke to keep Duke, a threat to South Carolina. And South Carolina just deep, so they was able to figure it out. Like I said, they always find a way to figure it out. But what was you guys' thoughts on South Carolina and Duke?
I felt that they played a lot like stagnant basketball. They never got into their full sets and stuff like that. Like Malaysia for Wiley will, make a great play and then make a stupid defensive transition and foul somebody when it wasn't even necessary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they, like you said, they didn't have somebody probably with the level head to be like, okay, this is what we running, and you didn't know what's the next play and like how's it gonna go because they always played like too stagnant or whatever.
Yeah.
For me, it was like it's just weird. South Carolina's a weird dynamic because they've always been like the number one team of this era. I say probably since like really, if you want to say since Asia Wilson, they kind of been like
2018, 2017.
Yeah, exactly. They kind of been like next up since UConn for real. And it's weird because they have all of these players, like they can go 10 deep.
Yeah.
All-Americans, McDonald All-Americans, 5-star prospects, everything like that, top 15 prospects in the nation coming out of high school. And opposing coaches, they complain about that. Like there's a history of them complaining about this, whether it's Kim Mulkey or Kenny Brooks over there, with Kentucky and stuff like that. So it's just weird how people are like, they have too much talent. And then, when it comes out to individual accolades and stuff like that, they don't necessarily have the superstars to say, they got the stars and they dominate in the All-American list, all these things and stuff like that. So, and like you said, in a situation like this, you're like, do they have someone that can score the ball and get a bucket? And it's like, they should, like, they're all 5-star recruits, So it's just weird, a weird dynamic there. I do think, as people have pointed out, Ashton Watkins is missed. Everything South Carolina does, like both of y'all said, is kind of by committee. So it's like they need every single piece of that unit. They're all important. Fagan's important just as Ashton Watkins is important, just as Breezy Hall is important, just as Powell and Tessa Johnson and all these players. Like they have to work together for it. So now losing one of those pieces, Lay is kind of the closest thing in this generation that they've had, to a superstar, to a star and everything like that with the talents and abilities. But, she crazy too. She play out of control too at times and everything like that. So it's just weird, bro. South Carolina's got to figure it out. Do they put it together? Because they're not going to win the championship playing like this. And I know these are the type of clips and takes that people clip and then they play it after they win and say, they doubted us. No one believed. Like you guys seen the commercial with RDC and like, they can't do it. And they all doubt us. Nobody thought we'd get past the first round. And it's like, you guys were like number one for the past 5 years. What do you mean no one believed you? So
Right.
But I don't think they're gonna win this year with how they're playing right now. So they really got to flip a switch this weekend. Will they? I don't think so. But I hope they beat Texas for the sake of my bracket.
Facts, facts, facts. RC in basketball says, all I have to say about Kenny Brooks and Kim Mulkey is if they recruit better, they do better. Stop complaining and recruit well. Keep them there too. Um,
Shout
good,
out RC quality channel as well for sure.
good point. Good point, RC. To your point though, Rashad, I think they do have those scorers. The problem is, I guess, because they so deep, them scorers is not consistent, right? Because you take a look at, like I said, on any other program, Malaysia Fawali will be starting. And to me, Malaysia Fawali is a 25, 30 point scorer in college. You get what I'm saying?
If Malaysia Full Wally was in Kiyomi McMiller's shoes, she would be Kiyomi McMiller.
And Keomi McMillan's shoes and Tanaya Lotson's shoes. Even in I could see her doing what Hannah Hidalgo does on Notre Dame. Like and to me, I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of people don't say it because they have recency bias. But to me, I've been saying this since she's been a freshman. She's the second best player in that sophomore class behind Juju. To me, it's Juju.
That's a Snapple
You
fact.
disagree?
No. Yeah,
You
yeah.
disagree with that? I got Juju, and then
Nah,
I got her. Juju to me, everybody compare. People want to compare the women to men. We gotta stop doing that. But people say if people say Juju is the Jordan, to me, Malaysia for Wally game is AI. You get what I'm saying?
definitely.
But why you disagree? Who you say is the second best player in that sophomore class?
Hidalgo, bro, easily.
You got Hidalgo. Okay, I'm not mad at that. My only thing is when people say that, and I love Hidalgo. I'm a Hidalgo fan, so this is not to knock Hidalgo. But when people say that, I tell them to go back and look at that game when Notre Dame played South Carolina, and I believe it was 2023 or 2024. I believe it was 2024.
But what?
No, it had to be 2023. I'm sorry, and 2023 in France. When they went for the exhibition game before the season started.
I remember what game you talking about. You talking about the game where
she threw it behind her back and
I remember that game. They won by 80.
They was matched up. They was playing against each other in that game.
It's 2025.
So
No.
yeah, but the difference is role. The difference role, bro. You feel me? Like that's why I said the role that Hannah Hidalgo is in for Notre Dame, she's in a role to be the best scorer, right?
100%.
For Wiley, he's coming off the bench for whatever reasons. People say, she needs it, whatever the case may be. But I do believe, even on the NC State, if she had a role like Isaiah James have, somebody like that, I believe if she was in one of those roles, we'll see a different for Wiley, in my opinion.
But she's not like, I feel like Hidalgo isn't as wild as Lay can be. Like Lay can be. It's like, what are you doing, bro? Like, you out here trying to make M1 mixtape. Like, we just need to get a bucket. We just need a 2.
And that's the knock. Yeah, that's the knock on her.
Hidalgo, she go East Bay too with the Lay. Go ahead.
That's not a knock on her because you don't want to stifle her creativity.
Exactly.
Because you want to refine her and make her see that you need to play more strategic instead of just going for broke like how you have a Westbrook will go. He has a killer motor, but his like basketball IQ is kind of helter skelter when you actually need to slow it down a bit, back up, and then make it play. Because not every time you could go 0 to 100. Sometimes you gotta go 60. You know what I mean? And that's what Dawn Staley is trying to instill in her. That's why she kept her on the bench sometimes. Like she could be a starter on any other team, but Dawn Staley is trying to refine her into making her a better player, a long lasting player than a person like an AI, you know, versus I don't even know who's else compared to, Malaysia Fawali's game. But like her skill set that you cannot, you know, you let her go for a little bit, but then you gotta bring her back and like bring her back down to reality. This is why you shouldn't have done that. That's all that is. And I think if you stifle her game, that's gonna make her not want to play ball because I've seen that a lot in players. You know what I mean?
I hear it. It's just like Don is doing it for a reason, like you say, like because it's like you could go to one of those other universities, get the keys. You know, we even see it. It's kind of I don't even think this controversial to say. I think everybody would agree. Kind of see that USC with Juju, right? Like Coach
Yeah, it's a
Gottlieb
little wild sometimes. Yeah,
don't really know. Like you go out there, you watch them play offense. You like, do they have one play?
facts.
It's get Juju the ball and let
And get
Juju
out the
dribble the
way.
ball and figure it out. Like
Yeah,
that's all they do. So it's like
Yeah.
she can go to any other program and ball out everything like that. But it's not like you say, me, it ain't gonna prepare her for the next level or anything. That's not sustainable game, like because you're not just gonna be able to do unless you're on the worst team in the league, you're not just gonna be able to do that in
exactly.
the league. So it's like the ability to refine it. And you say Westbrook, okay, when we speak about Westbrook peers, right? Harden, who else would you say? I want to say DeRozan, but you know, he not quite on that level. Shout out to DeRozan. But if you say
John
Harden,
Morant.
Westbrook, well, Ja he a bit like new school. I'm talking
Okay,
about
you
like
talking about his
around
era. You talking about
yeah,
around his era.
Westbrook
Derrick
era.
Rose.
Derrick
Yeah,
Rose.
Derrick
Yeah.
Rose.
So
He had to
if you
got he definitely got humbled due to injury, but you know.
yeah, but I'm saying so out of that three,
John
you
Wall.
probably taking Harden, Rose, and then Westbrook third. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, unless you're saying okay, Rose went around that long, everything like that, whoop whoop, then you put Rose third. But if you're doing them at their peak, you going Harden first, Rose second, and Westbrook third. And why you going Westbrook third? Because Westbrook, while we love the motor and your will to win, Rose know how to run a set. Harden know how to slow the game down and make you play at his pace, and that's what make them great. That's the same thing with Hidalgo. Hidalgo, she can go East Bay off the glass layup. We seen it in the game. She can go off the glass, pass to her teammate on a fast break. We seen it in the game. We seen her do the behind the back, between the legs, no look, all that. But at the same time, we also seen Hidalgo down the stretch in UConn on the road. Bink, 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 hit, step back in your
Have
face. You know what I'm
poise.
saying? We seen that
Okay.
poise. We seen that pace from Hannah Hidalgo, and that's the difference. And that's why it's so okay. Lay, you're great, but that don't mean much except for you're great for us at South Carolina in college. And what Don is trying to do is prepare her to have the most successful, long-term career
Facts,
post South
facts.
Carolina.
I will only say this, and I agree with everything you said. So I'm not pushing back, but I do have a counter argument. And is what you said about Juju. I agree with what you said about Juju. Juju sometimes could play a little bit wild, right? And they offense in USC is a little bit of one-on-one, get Juju the ball, let her create offense. But the thing that Juju also has a freedom to do is learn from her mistakes. I think what happens with Malaysia a lot, because she's on a short leash, people see the wild plays and they don't see how she grow from it, because she is on the bench and she don't have that opportunity. Like I said, you talk about AI, or you talk about the Westbrooks, or you talk about, the Hardens and everybody you mentioned, they all had the freedom to be them and grow. We've seen the same way we've seen uh uh um Harden that struggles, we've seen an MVP Harden too. And we was able to see. I don't think James ever was an MVP, but we was able to see the best versions of James, and we was able to see. I think I said Harden twice. I'm talking about Westbrook. My fault. We was able to see an MVP Westbrook. And we was able to see the best version of James, and we was able. I forgot the other player you mentioned, Derrick Rose. We was able to see an MVP Rose, right? We was able to see these players grow. I think that's the issue with Fawali. Is she a little wild sometimes? Yes, and that's why I said that it's all about role, because I believe if she had the role that those other players have, she would have the ability to say, okay, because like I agree with Mika. You can't take away a player's creativity. But that player can learn when I'm doing a little too much. Okay, I need to reel it in, because Leia's gonna throw it behind her back and hit you with the She gonna hit you with that, and you don't want to take that away, because that's what grows a women's game. When we go back and look at Magic Johnson, we love the fact that he was on a break like I love doing that, because if you see the documentary where that shit is hilarious. Magic is hilarious. But my point is, we love that. We didn't want to see Magic turn the ball over and say, okay, I'm gonna play traditional basketball now. Now we want to see the creativity because that's what makes us fans. As kids, that's what make us love the game. Are we trying to grow the game? Malaysia for Wally is gonna be a fan favorite when she get to the WNBA, and I'm sure she's a fan favorite now. You get what I'm saying? So I agree with everything you said. All of those players you mentioned deserve all the credit in the world that they get, and I do believe that Mo3. I'm gonna drop the link for you. I forgot to send it to you too. But all of the players we mentioned deserve everything they get. All the credit and kudos that they get, and Malaysia for Wally is wild. So I'm gonna be honest. She does. But I'm happy she's with Don. She has the right coach to, like you said. I think Don is gonna make her a better pro.
Do,
But
do y'all remember Tisha Penicheiro?
Yeah. Shout out to Tisha. The
I
pretty
don't
much
educate me.
she like the female white chocolate.
Tisha Penicheiro was compared to Magic Johnson, and I keep forgetting his name, but he's called like White
White
Chocolate.
chocolate,
His
yeah.
nickname is White
Jason
Chocolate or
Williams.
whatever.
Yeah, Jason
Yeah,
Williams,
she was in Sacramento when Jason Williams was in Sacramento.
Yeah, Sacramento.
She's Ryan Howard's agent, or she used to be. I don't know if she still is, but
she's still an agent. The thing is, Tisha Penicheiro, she played in the NCAA, but her skill set was from overseas. Like that's all she watched. All she watched was Magic Johnson growing up. Know what I mean? So you have to be
really quick,
with the
Miko. Not to
person.
cut you off. I'm sorry. Yo, Mo3. I just sent it to your Discord. Go ahead, Mika.
Tisha Penicheiro had to learn how to see the court differently. You never want to like hinder somebody's skill set because
Yeah.
that would, deter them from actually, wanting to progress. So with Malaysia for Wally, I think Dawn is trying to get her to be at this stack of like the true point guards of the game. Like she could play a small forward, but the way in which her skill set is, she's probably gonna be more of a point guard in the WNBA. You know what I mean?
Who you saying could play small forward?
Malaysia, because
Oh
she could
nah, she
shoot.
too small. She 5'9".
Shoot. Have you seen her shot though?
No. She definitely got game. She got the game to play any position. I'm just talking about in it because
Yeah, she's small.
once you get to the W, the threes is more like 6 foot 6'2". So that's what I was saying. She'd be more of a shooting guard.
But that's what I'm saying. Dawn Staley is 5'6". She played in the W when the point guard was actually that's
Yeah,
the
5'5",
height, you know what I
5'6".
mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So she's trying to get Malaysia for Wally. I can see she's trying to get her to be more refined and play within what would make her more suitable for the W, because she could do
Right.
all
No, I
that
agree with
flashy
that.
stuff, but
1,000%.
if she can't pass the ball right when it needs to be passed, or
Right.
shoot the ball when it needs to be shot, you're not gonna last that long.
Yeah, facts. You gotta learn how to play team ball, and you also gotta learn how to play. It's okay to be flashy, but you gotta learn when to be flashy, when not. Because what happens is, I think Dom's biggest problem with Malaysia is not the fact that she's flashy. It's the fact I think is the fact that her teammates aren't ready. So
Exactly.
Malaysia gotta realize, okay, I can't do this because she won't catch the ball. So I have to be smarter with this pass I throw, be smarter with this move I throw, so that my teammates, so we could play a like what you saying, Mika, a team game, right, in the WNBA. Because in the WNBA, they trying to do what? They all trying to win, and you're not gonna win by yourself doing all these flashy moves. Can't nobody play on the court with you. That's to Rashad's point. That's Kiyomi's problem right now. Kiyomi needs to learn how to play with 5 instead of 1. Kiyomi is great 1-on-1, or she's great in the park, but how do you play organized with this team to try to win? And
these kids grew up, you know what I'm saying, watching Kyrie. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are all descendants of Kyrie, and Kyrie was a descendant of watching N1. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all a trickle down effect. Like, I'm from Atlanta. I've covered a lot of Trae Young's career over there in Atlanta. So it's like the same thing you said, being able to have the keys to make the mistakes. Like Trae doing all that logo pull up. When he was doing that as a rookie, hold on, we down by 50. What is you doing?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But he figured it out eventually to where it's now refined, and it is what it is now. when I think about Kennedy Carter over there in the W, it's like she reminds me of AI. Like she's like AI
Yeah,
in
she's
a
definitely
in a
she's
body.
AI for real, for
But
real.
it's
Yeah,
like
She said
she's
her
struggling to
favorite
stay in the
players
league.
were
yeah,
AI, John Starks, or the point guards. You know what I mean?
But she's struggling to stay in the
Jason
league.
Kidd.
So
yeah.
it's just like, you know what I'm saying? So it's
But I
like
think what hers more politics because you know
100%.
I'm a Chicago not the, and I agree with you. I'm not saying you're wrong,
Yeah.
but I'm a Chicago Sky fan, and I watched her this year, and I seen her play. And in fact, we gonna give her all the credit in the world right now because this is what
Oh
the
yeah, yeah. Kennedy
this what
Carter.
the world.
Let me
Hold
be
on,
on record of saying it. I
yeah.
think Kennedy Carter the best guard in the world. Like
Facts,
I
but
think
that's
she
not
the
even
best
where I was
guard in the
going.
league.
I agree
For
with
sure.
that. I agree with that. That's not even where I was going. I wanted to give her credit because a lot of times people forget, or maybe they didn't watch the full season, or maybe they see. I had League Pass. I watched damn near every game, right? A lot of people might have seen certain games. I'm gonna give Kennedy Carter credit because she came off the bench and played her role to start the season. She played her role without complaining. A lot of people not gonna give her that credit because they're gonna talk about the scoring and the 1-on-1 and blah blah blah. Kennedy Carter was a role player for the Chicago Sky. She came off the bench and she ended up becoming our best guard. And then that's how she got in the role she was in to lead the team because Mo3, what's up? That's how she got in the role she was in to lead the team because she ended up being our best guard and our best scorer. So we had to use it that way. But she started off the season as a sixth woman off the bench and did her job so well, she got a starting position. So I just want to give her that credit because, you know, the narrative out there is that she's not a team player. She did all this stuff that they saying in the media, not what we saying. So I just want to give her that credit and saying she was a team player for Chicago. But I think a lot of stuff with Kennedy Carter is more off the court stuff and more mental stuff. She got to take some accountability too because the listen, we like you just said, you from Atlanta, I'm from Brooklyn. You know, we all from places where we understand like sometimes it get physical. And Kennedy Carter probably came up in a place like that where if she got to fight, she got to fight. But she got to
She
realize,
grew up with Alexis Morris, and that explained like everything because they like the same person,
okay,
personality wise. Yeah.
but that's my point. She got to realize when you got to chill from all that. You feel me? Like we understand the environment we come from, and it's like, yo, it happens sometimes. People fight, da da da. They frown upon that in the WNBA, and that's really the monkey on her back. She's like a problem child. When people look at her, they think, oh, she's coming with these issues, and that's what's really hurting her.
And y'all always have to remember it's different with women. Oh, go
Shorty,
ahead, Meek. Go ahead, Meek.
I hate when people say that. I knew you was going. I know somebody was going, not you personally, because I don't know you like that. But it's her mentality. You know what I mean? It's like you could read the room. If you gonna go at Caitlin Clark, no matter how much bullshit she was talking to you, if she jade you in the face and said hi bitch,
You
hi,
said
you know what I
it was
mean?
like Delonte
Read
West.
the
If
fucking
Delonte come
room.
after
If
LeBron,
you
you gonna be
going
like,
chest,
where Delonte West go? Why he ain't in the league no more?
why you going chest bump the? Sorry,
yeah,
can I cuss?
yeah. Remember,
Why you going
this
chest
is the
bump the bitch,
barbershop.
bro? Like,
Yeah,
read the fucking room. That's gonna definitely be going viral.
yeah, yeah. I agree
Like,
with
All I'm
that.
saying is I seen Kennedy in Atlanta, right, on a team where two players, it was 2, 3, 4 players out there fighting civilians outside of a food truck.
Mm.
Some of them jokers got to stay on the team. And Kennedy, meanwhile, sit down for the rest of the season because she got into a little argument, altercation, allegedly, reportedly, in the locker room during the game at halftime. And
That's
she
crazy.
sat down. She didn't even come back out for the second half, and she sat down for the rest of the season. And then they traded her in the offseason.
yeah,
Meanwhile, these girls fighting civilians, fighting fans, doing
Crazy.
on camera, and they get this. Okay, so that's when I saw, okay, the rules is different. That's
Yeah.
why I said what I said, because it's like, if you got someone in the NBA with a little attitude, oh, he got that dog. Ant-Man got that dog in him.
Listen, Detroit, Detroit and
Uh, uh,
Timberwolves.
beef stew. Yeah, beef stew.
Detroit and Tim. No,
sometimes you
no, but I'm
got it.
talking about about the fight that just happened, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I think
beef
Yeah.
stew.
yesterday.
Isaiah Stewart.
Yeah,
That's all he do. All he do is fight.
and they not getting kicked out the NBA. So come on, what's
He
going
got
on?
suspended 2 games for that. This about the 8th time the Joker done fought.
Yeah,
You look at Draymond highlights. Draymond, first of all, what has Draymond done in the league since 2015, bro? Set screen. Oh, he set good screens for Steph Curry. That ain't enough for. He took down Rudy Gobert like this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
he
he did it
almost
5
joked
more
him.
times and they ain't kick him out the league. Man,
Right.
please, bro. That's why I say it's different with women because
Yeah.
it's like Kennedy get
He,
into an argument in a locker room allegedly with so and so whoop whoop, and now Kennedy got issues, and then
Yeah.
Kennedy go. This is where Kennedy really need to really change her stuff. When she go on Twitter and just prove the point
Yeah. Yeah.
that the team's trying to make.
Yeah.
Kennedy,
She don't help
don't
herself
you
out.
ain't gotta say nothing. You ain't gotta say nothing.
the,
You can make them look crazy by saying nothing, by not
Yeah.
reacting to it and showing us what folks talking about. Anyway, I want to get the RC question real quick.
Yeah. I was trying to get to that. I'll have
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Do y'all think Kiki Rice wants to be a good in the pros or what? I'm one of her biggest fans, but I like inconsistency and scoring sometimes be disturbing. First of all, I want to say with the whole late thing, like just watch Flage. Like Flage, flashy player at heart, but she know how to tone it down,
Yeah.
dial it down at the right time. I think with Kiki, I think Kiki wants to be great. Kiki wants to be good. However, I ain't gonna lie to you. Once you get to that level, it's like the doll's gonna come out, the cream gonna rise to the top.
Facts.
Is Kiki that? Kiki
Yeah.
good, but is she that? I don't know.
That's
I'm
a
looking at
fact.
Flage and I'm looking at Kiki.
That's a fact.
One was a 5-star rated number 1, number 2. It was like Lauren Bess was number 1, Kiki Rice was number 2. And I'm looking at Flage, who was 25 coming out of high school. Now it's non-flip.
Yeah.
They both go on the draft today. Flage going number 2 behind Lauren Betts, so she going number 2 behind Paige Bakers. It just
Listen,
is.
let's
what
not
it is.
forget. Hold on. I'm sorry. I just got to throw these names out there. Let's not forget Tanaya Lawson in that draft.
Man,
Let's not forget now.
Flage going before Tanaya Latson.
You
in
think
the
so?
draft, man.
You think she better than Tanaya?
Shout out Big Foe, Big
Okay,
Foe.
I hear that.
Man,
I hear that.
Crew. We
But
play winning basketball around here.
To
You
get
know
to
what
the
I'm saying?
question, and then
National
we're gonna get to
champion.
Mo 3. To get to the question, I do think Kiki Rice can be good in the pros. But I agree with everything Rashad said. She gotta she gotta diversify her game. Right now, her game is real basic. They say what I hear the media say about her a lot is she's one of the best guards at attacking the basket, getting to the basket, but I don't really see anything special with the way she attacks the basket. And as far as the way she shoots the ball, I got to look at the numbers, but just from the eye test, she looks below average shooting the ball. Now, as far as passing the ball, she seems like she's a solid passer, nothing special, just solid. But she's gonna have to really make her game more diversified if she want to go to that next level and have an impact. So I do think she could be good in the pros, but it's up to her. She got to elevate that game. Anybody else want to touch on that before we get back to the conversation? Mo 3.
On the RC question.
Yeah, you want to give your opinion, or you want to talk about South Carolina?
It's my opinion is pretty much what you just said. Except for I do think she could shoot a little bit better than you're giving her credit for. But other than that, that's basically how I feel about her. I feel like she's not really nothing special.
Yeah, and it's sad because I think like she should be right, like, but I don't know. She's not impressing nobody.
You can't teach.
Yeah, it's just the more I watch her play, it's just I'm like
Yeah. All right, Mo 3. What's your thoughts on? We was talking about South Carolina versus Duke, and then we started to get into some of the South Carolina players. That's how we ended up talking about Malaysia for Wiley. But what's your thoughts on? I don't know if you saw the South Carolina versus Duke game.
I didn't watch the whole game, but I saw a good amount of it. That game was
Yeah.
a lot of people say that was a good game, but to me, I don't think it was a good game.
Probably because it was close. They saying that, but it really wasn't a good game. It was a hard, like it was tough for them to score.
Yeah, it was like you look at it. If you didn't really watch the game, or you just watch highlights, you're gonna be thinking, "Oh, this was a defensive game."
Right.
But now I'm watching the game and I'm like, "Yo, these. If I didn't know any better, I'd just say these two teams trash."
Right. It was a bad game by both teams. Yeah. Which made it a defensive game, right? Because they both couldn't score, but
Yeah, but it wasn't scoring because of the defense.
Yeah.
Main, I mean, sometimes yeah, but mostly they were just not making the shots or just bricking. I'm like, what the
Yeah.
heck? They missing layups. They airballing. They doing all types of stuff, and I'm like, what's going on here? Same thing with the, I don't know if y'all talked about that game yet.
Which game? Because we might go into it.
The TCU game.
Okay, we could go into that. I was gonna go into LSU, UCLA next, but we could go into TCU. Um, yeah, y'all started off. Anybody?
I'm gonna go, man, because I've been this people keep talking about everybody when people look at that game, even when they was watching it, they were talking about Sedona Prince,
Yeah.
but I could care less about that. The main person that disappointed me is the whole season. Madison Connor, who I proclaim to be the not
Still,
there laid an egg.
she's still on the list. She on the list though. But yeah, she could have
She
played better.
laid an egg, man. She was leading in all the metrics. If you look at all the like the number by the numbers, she's leading in almost all of them. So she should that game right there was crazy, man. I can't believe she did that. And what is that?
Um, like I
Well, y'all
always
can
say,
hear that.
man.
My fault. I was trying to.
Yeah, no, you good,
I
you
didn't know it
good.
was playing.
Like I always say, if you're gonna be problematic and you're gonna have something problematic on your record, at least be good at what you do. And so for Sedona Prince to have what she have on her record and still lay an egg, I mean, it just is what it is. And plus, you older than everybody. You 25 years old. You know what I'm saying? Everybody already roasting you for your age and for the allegations on your record. And what you
What?
do, dang, the lights is too bright. The lights too bright. You're the tallest player on the floor every game. What did you do in the biggest game of your life? You laid an egg. I'm sorry. It just is what it is. I don't know what the future's gonna look like for her, but hey, tough blow. That's how it go.
Yeah. I mean, this game to me was just a defensive game. TCU couldn't handle the pressure. Texas put on them. Yeah, as you can see right there, that's pretty much adjusted. I don't really have much to say. This was a defensive game. You could tell that Texas kind of outmatched TCU. TCU to me laid the egg in this game though, because to me the Achilles heel for Texas is 3-point shooting. They don't shoot enough threes to me to last in a game versus a team that could make enough threes against them, right? So they did exactly what they need to do. If you're not going to make threes, you got to play defense. And we already know defense and rebounding does win championships. So they do have a strategy that can help them win games. But like I said, if they made a couple threes, let's just say, because in this game, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I look at the stats, I think they only made 1 3 in this game, in this one game. But let's just say they average 7 threes, right? That's enough for me for their play style, right? They if they could generate 7 threes per game, with the way they play defense, that's enough for me for them to feel like, for me to feel comfortable with that they could beat anybody. But the fact that they shoot like, I think they average like 3 threes a game. I heard one of the broadcasters say. And so if that's the most threes you're gonna get, if you play against a high octane team that plays on both ends of the floor, that plays defense and offense, you're gonna have a hard time winning. That's why I have a hard time seeing them winning the Natty over certain teams, because they're gonna have to really make it a low scoring defensive game in order to win. Right, which is possible. You know, I mean, we've seen those things before. But if a team get hot, they're gonna be beatable. And I feel like TCU kind of laid the egg in this game, because like Mo3 was saying, if they was knocking down threes, like the way they should have knocked down threes, they could have beat Texas. You get what I'm saying? But like I said, Texas just came out with this game plan of playing stifling defense on the guards, that it just kind of overwhelmed TCU. TCU just kind of looked outmatched in this game. And then Texas, they kind of played Texas basketball, and Texas ended up, running away with it. But yeah, that's my assessment of this game. Defensive game, low scoring game, and then Madison Bucket just did enough to get the W.
Yeah, TCU just got exposed. That's all it was. They they didn't have a defensive, like, they didn't have enough offense to match the Texas's defense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
And
Texas has a high motive for the defense, and they was getting easy buckets in the paint. So
also, I want to give, not to cut you off, Mika, just one more thing. I want to give Oldacre some credit because Oldacre had a couple big plays in this game. I was looking at Oldacre. I was okay. Oldacre had some athletic full court plays. I'm like, okay,
he was
Oldacre.
looking like an
He had
All
that
American.
fast
I'm
break
like, yo,
late
what the
and
fuck?
one.
So shout out to Oldacre. Again, Mika, try me to cut you off.
Nah, she was dead ass looking like an All American. I'm like, yo, why? Texas came out ready, more ready than TCU, and TCU ain't had nothing to counteract that. That's all it was. Because
Facts.
I was surprised at I don't know her first name, but Prince. I'm like, yo,
Sedona.
bro, you the biggest shorty on the court. Why can't you just stay in
The
that?
oldest.
Biggest and the oldest.
Hey, I ain't going there. I just learned she was there for 7 years. I was like, wow.
And that
Okay.
tells me too, Rashad and Mika, that tells me that you're not gonna be able to dominate. Like if you that old, right, and you can't look amazing against these players, you're supposed to look amazing on the floor right now.
You supposed to look like Auburn for the men.
Yeah.
You
So
like
Yeah,
Auburn
but
for the men having a great season. They all 25. They better be.
yeah, she's not gonna be that much of a factor. She's gonna be able
yeah,
to block shots, but that's pretty much it.
but you only playing against amateurs in America. These players go overseas. I mean,
Mm,
these overseas players got an extra because they actually going through the journey and being an actual workhorse. So I wasn't surprised. I'm like, she might can make it because of her height, but she probably gonna be coming off the bench.
yeah,
I didn't even know Shorty was 25. I'm like, damn,
And
yeah,
you ain't even know she had cases on her. You know what I'm
what?
saying? Like,
yeah.
What do you mean cases?
She's gonna be
shit,
26
She
this
be
got the,
year.
hey,
she be beating up.
Sedona's got a weird case. Why is she around? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
she put her hands on a woman. She put her
yeah,
hands on a girl, allegedly. You
yeah,
know, I don't want to get the live king in trouble. His channel in
yeah.
trouble.
Listen, domestic violence. I can't stand that shit. That was
She got
riddled through the
multiple
W.
cases.
That
That's what
was
I'm saying.
riddled
I'm
through the
saying
W for a hot minute. Talk about domestic violence. I don't want to hear that. I don't care about that. As long as you could deliver on the court,
and she
cause
can't. So it's like, dang,
so
you beating your girl and you can't make a layup. What are you good for?
Right. And like I said, older
that
older
that that that
listen,
don't those two don't equate. I'm like, if she beat her girl and she's like a high defensive player, like she defensive player of the year, then that kind of makes sense. But
right.
you talking about you can't score, that don't equate.
Yeah,
You're
she
right. You're
saw.
right. You're
But
right. My
listen,
bad.
Oldacre and Oldacre don't even start. Oldacre kind of
She
exposed her
came
in
off
this
the
game.
bench. Yeah,
And exposed her. Sedona didn't look
exactly.
like she belonged on the floor with Oldacre.
She was like, I'm not about to catch another case. Stop it, Five. That's all
Yeah,
Man,
she was doing.
yeah. When
Since
she
you
like
just
I
told me
said,
that she caught a case, she's
yeah.
like, I'm not trying to get them silver bracelets again. So stop it, please.
What she was saying,
I
Mo three?
I knew Sedona was not that one when she got dunked on.
Oh
She
yeah,
got dunked
forgot
on
She
about
got
too.
that.
she got dunked
Yeah,
on like
Damn.
Ashlyn
this
Watkins.
season,
Yeah,
like a
Ashlyn
couple months
Watkins.
ago.
Yeah,
Got dunked on from that what's that girl from South Carolina?
Ashlyn
Straight,
Watkins.
hey, yeah, because she blocked her shot, right? She went
Hmm.
up and she blocked her shots. Yeah, that was Watkins, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, she blocked her shot, and then she was looking like, yeah, like she's some big stuff. So Watkins was like, oh yeah, all right.
you wanna
So
know what's funny?
she ran down court the very next play, blocked her shot, got the rebound from her,
Dunked on her.
took her one on one coast to coast, and then jammed on her.
Yeah, it's a
That
poster.
was
Wow.
crazy.
She
She
made a
waited for
poster.
her too. She waited
Yep.
for her. She could have passed her and just laid up. She slowed down, waited for her to catch up. Oh, you think you gonna block this one? Block this. Yeah, I felt so bad for HVT last night, man. I was like, man, this is
Haley
crazy.
Van Lith. Nah, she good. I
Yeah.
don't think she
Nah,
gonna
nah,
get
nah, nah,
drafted.
nah, nah, nah. I said
You don't think she gonna
HVT.
get drafted?
She gonna come off the bench. I don't think she gonna get drafted though.
She gonna get because
Yeah, she
She gonna
definitely gonna get
it's
drafted.
too many players that say I'm coming back to school for
Yeah,
Haley not
and
to
she
get.
had a good year
Haley
this year.
took
I
an
think
Yeah,
extra
she had a
year.
good year. Yeah,
she had a
She
good
can't
year. I
she
Yeah,
think
can't come back.
she
The
won the
thing
player of the year for the conference. She
yeah,
won.
the
She was
she
like the
proved
most
that's the
like
play
her
I was
all her
talking about
numbers
right there.
improved across the board,
the thing
and
is
she
the
showed
WNBA
that she could play a competent point guard.
the
Yeah,
thing is the WNBA does not retain a lot of these draft picks.
that's a fact.
So
That's a fact. But I think she is
that's
thick
I
though,
mean, but
my
she gonna get
main
drafted.
reason. They'll
You said
probably
what?
be like maybe 5 or 10,
because you
and
got to
10 is
realize,
stretching it. You know
especially
what I
with the
mean?
players, not going in the draft,
Returning.
she she might be the second best point guard in this draft now, second and third, somewhere around there. She's so if you
Yeah,
need a point guard, you definitely gonna go. She gonna
Who's
get paid. I
better?
would.
I
I'm gonna
think
be honest
Chicago
with
will.
y'all.
Who's better?
I think
Angel.
Because
Chicago will get
I
her.
would have had Olivia Miles. Like
I
so,
would like
Olivia
to see
Miles.
it
No,
in
no.
Chicago, but I don't
I'm
know.
giving even though she's small, I'm giving Georgia A more that credit of being better than Haley.
Georgia tough. Georgia tough. I
Because you
cannot
got
lie.
real. Let me give you why though. Haley just had a good, she obviously before she went to LSU, she had some good seasons in Louisville, but she was more of a two, right? That's why she went to LSU to be that one. And then this year with the system that they had, she showed that she could play the one, with still having her skills and scoring and everything. Georgia Amore been having a good season playing the one for about 3 years now. So I got to give her that credit of having multiple seasons, not just one. Like I'm not just judging them off this season. This season alone, they was pretty much even. If you want to just look at this season, but Georgia Amore been doing it for multiple years. So I'm gonna give her that nod of being a better point, not player. You could say Haley Van Lith is a better player. I don't know who you would say is the better player, but if we talk about playing that position, who's the better point guard? I'm gonna say right now, being that Olivia Miles not in the draft, Georgia Amore is the best point guard available.
I respect that.
But I was saying though, I think I wouldn't be surprised if Chicago pick up Haley Van Lith because Angel love Haley Van Lith.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Haley, she Angel be tweeting about her.
yeah. She be tweeting about, she be talking about her on her live. So
Hmm.
listen, and like I said, I was one of the people that was down on Haley. I got to give her a lot of credit. She did step up. She played better this year. So gotta give her credit. So I do think she will get drafted, probably somewhere either late first or in the second round. But I do think she's gonna get drafted,
Yeah,
and I
that's
do
what I'm
think she's
saying.
gonna stick.
Chicago got 3 picks. I don't think
Yeah,
they're gonna let her. The Angel gonna let them let her go undrafted
yeah,
when they got 3 picks.
yeah. And they need to get younger at the point guard position. Now I will. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. I really like, and I think she's gonna be a problem on the next level. I really like Harmony Turner.
Yo,
I,
Harmony Turner is the truth, bro.
and she plays on both ends of the floor. She's not just an offensive player. Yeah, and she's 5'10". So
Yeah, Harmony. She probably gonna go in like second or third round because she went mid major.
yeah,
But yeah, Harmony the truth. I hope she makes the roster. I hope she
I would
makes.
say talent wise, arguably, she probably the best point guard talent wise, in the draft right now. So
Yeah, but they really hold that mid majors against people.
yeah, so she's probably gonna end up going third, like he said.
Yeah,
But
but I mean, all you need is that little tryout, the training camp preseason.
yeah,
That's all you need to make the team. So once she can make a team, she in there. But she on the outside looking in right now.
yeah,
So I just hope she can get that opportunity because she can hoop for
no,
sure.
that's a fact. I didn't. So
I didn't even know. Going back to RC, what he said. I didn't know Jazzy was going to USC. Jazzy hard. She got that dog in her. She competitive for sure. Jazzy Davidson. She
yeah,
cold. She
yeah.
cold.
Oh, I didn't even know he said. Just my fault. I would have pulled that up. I missed that one. But Harmony, I didn't know much about her. I heard people talking about her, so I went and looked her up. So I was like, okay, Shorty could ball. But of course, I always want to see players play against teams. Like I want to see them play against top teams, so I could really see where you rank. So I didn't really get a good look at her. I didn't see her play live until the tournament. And what made me, when she played Michigan State, what made me respect her a lot again was the fact that she played both ends of the floor. I was like, okay, she was out there getting charges. What made me respect her a lot is you could tell she's the best player. Like the rest of her team is trash. Like it was like I was watching that game and I was like, yo, Shorty really out there by herself, bro. And most people would have got frustrated. Right, most people would have been like upset at their teammates, like, "Yo, do something, help me," because she didn't have a great shooting percentage, but she had a pretty decent game. Like, and then the stuff she was doing with the type of the defensive pressure she had on her, able to get her shot off, able to hit the floater, able to hit a couple threes, able to find her teammates. I said, "Oh, Shorty could ball." That's why I said I think she's gonna be really good on the next level because soon as she get on a team with other players with talent and that floor spacing, she gonna be able to play now, opposed to what I watched in the round. Was it round one? I think it was. What
Yeah,
I watched in
round
round
one.
one. She just so.
You know that's Rock T daughter.
Cool.
Rock T from Ricky Smiley Morning Show.
Okay, now I didn't know, but
Oh,
she gained
word.
my
I didn't
respect.
know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that. She gained my respect though. She nice. All right. I can continue talking. I'm about to pull up the next game and shit.
What's the next one? LSU?
Yeah, that's what I'm pulling up.
That game was it was all right. Uh it wasn't I wouldn't say it was like a disappointing game. I was kind of disappointed with Florida,
Yeah.
but second half she really came alive.
Flajay one of them ones, bro. Like I gotta tell people they gotta stop playing with Flajay because it's like I think just because she's so famous, it's like a lot of people kind of downplay her ability to play basketball. She can really like she really one of the ones in the country, like one of the best. Forget SEC, forget LSU on her team. She one of the best in the country, period. And I think she showed it right there, like you said, Mo3. Like she struggled in the game, the previous game, the Sweet 16 game. Okay, got poked in the eye, got taken out. Came back, poked eye. Something else was hurting, and then she's still dealing with the lower leg injury from the end of the regular season. She came out first half, struggled with the shot, still got other teammates involved, and all right, I'm gonna go to be a distributor. I'm gonna go put my teammates in the right position, set them up, have the passes in the right places, things of that sort. And then the shots start falling in the second half when they were down and they needed it. And she scored 24 second half points. Like is sometimes I see her and I just be like, bro, what more do y'all want from the girl to let y'all know she's legit? But yeah, shout out to Flage for sure, and shout out to Anissa Merle as well. Samaya Smith had a good game as well before she went into the portal. Ella just got outmatched. Lauren Beck.
Yeah, and I see a
Yeah,
lot
go
of
ahead.
people. My bad for the but I hear I was trashing. We waited until the fourth quarter, and I watched the game, and I'm like, that's not true. They were down 13 in the third, and she went on this scoring binge and cut the lead down to three, and
You
then and
yeah.
then and then Gilbert just started jacking up all these shots. Like she just refused. She kept missing and she just kept shooting, taking all these ill-advised shots. And it was like one and done. No Nisa out there to grab the rebound, and she's still out there jacking up these shots. And almost every time she jacked up a shot and they missed, fast break, got scored on.
Yeah, they were trapping Flage at the beginning of the game because last year in the Sweet 16, Flage had the best what I'm saying, postseason game of her career where she like went crazy on them, hit the spin move on Kiki Rice a couple times, blocked Lauren Betts in the viral thing, and she
Yeah,
blocked
she
Lauren
was going
Betts again
crazy. Yeah.
in this one as well. I mean, so they was doubling her, they weren't playing with her. So when people was talking, oh Flage, what you want the girl to do? She being done like they doubling her out at the half court line. What else you want her to do? She eventually figured it out and scored on them anyway. They still won't give her the credit because she famous, whatever. I don't know, but yeah.
So my assessment of this game, I feel like I don't know, man. LSU. I feel like they could have won this game, but I felt like they just didn't. I felt like all right. So it was a physical game. It was a physical game, and I feel like LSU don't know when to like put a run together, right? Because it was a couple times in this game, especially with Lauren Betts in foul trouble. I was like, okay, you know, if they go on a nice little run now, they could take control of this game. But I don't know. They just kept giving up threes. And then also offensively, they was getting on my nerves because it's like, yo, you gotta learn, you gotta know your spots on the floor where you can score at, right? If they got a 6'7" person in the paint that's blocking shots, stop continuing to go into her every single time. She can't block a mid range shot. Number one, you feel me? Like find your spot. They should have played through Michaela Williams on the mid post. I feel like if they would have played through Michaela on the mid post, and Michaela could have just put somebody on the island, got her shot, they'd have had a much better offense. But they didn't adjust. I think they try to play they LSU where they play all the time, and kind of it just wasn't enough against this team because they just not as big, right? They played hard, they did good, they played physical, and like I said, it was times where Lauren wasn't on the floor, and they just couldn't stop the shooters, right? They didn't stop the shooters from shooting the ball. But yeah, that was just annoying me. I was sitting here like, yo, stop. And then also another thing is people need to know in basketball, if you have a shot blocker on the floor and they stationary, you can't go in there. They're gonna block your shot every time. But if you have a shot blocker on the floor and you could get them moving, if you could get that shot blocker moving and you go up in their body, that's a foul every time. So that's what I didn't like. Like I didn't understand that strategy. This with the three, and obviously with Samaya, what's her name? Samaya Smith, if I'm saying her name correctly. She even showed last game she could get you 20, right? So now they got 4 players. Plus you got Dan Gilbert. We already know. What's her name? Dan, not
Yeah,
Kayla.
Kaylin.
I'm sorry, Kaylin
And
Gilbert.
she was taking those bad shots and kept taking them because like earlier in the season she was like their closer. So it'd be
Exactly.
like,
So that's what I was saying. You
yeah,
got her off the bench. She really didn't have an impact, but we know what she's capable of because we seen it early in the season. So you got that's. I'm just saying LSU have all these weapons that they could have won this game, right? And then Flage, I think what Flage should have learned the last game with her being out and them able to get the win is Flage should have learned they don't necessarily need me to win games. They need me to close games. So Flage should have like learned from that and said, okay, I don't need to necessarily. I could just come out and get my teammates involved, and then when it's time for me to, like you said, she dropped. I forgot how many points she dropped, but she dropped the she had the most points on the team, I believe. But it's not about her scoring because they're able to win without her. It's about when you score and how you score. I think that's her next step. She need to learn how to be that go-to player, that closer. Because when you look at somebody like Paige Beckers, there's no reason that Flage don't have that same impact that Paige has on UConn. You get what I'm saying? When Paige goes off and she dropped 30, 9 times out of 10, UConn winning that game because everybody else did what they need to do. You got Sarah Strong getting off. You got AZ Fudd getting off. You got, you got different players doing different things, and they playing solid defense that Paige should close it for them now. And that's who Flage is for LSU. And I don't think Flage does a good job of that. She don't do it. She's like you said, she got all the moves in the book. She's an incredible player, but she need to realize I'm the leader of this team. She stepped up vocally, right? She's been being a vocal leader this year. But I just think sometimes she don't realize she's the one I need to put the game away. She just becomes one of the big three or one of the other players and not the closer. And I think that was the issue. And then also, this is not necessarily this game. It probably played a part in this game, but this has been LSU problem all year. They just an undisciplined team. Like they make bonehead mistakes at the wrong time, have defensive breakdowns at the wrong time. And obviously you got a player like Anissa Murrow that plays with all heart. So you got that. They always gonna play physical. They always gonna play with their heart, and that's how they win games. Because sometimes they just outmatch another team. But as you can see, once you run up against a team like LSU that's big and strong than you, that's not enough. That's when you got to be mentally strong and go into that next game, not make those mistakes and close the game out. But shout out to LSU. I mean, not LSU. Shout out to UCLA. They came out, did what they needed to do. Lauren Betts, when she did get in the game, she played strong. She was stomping through the lane. You know what I mean? Like I said, what really won that game for them is they shooters. They shooters knock down threes, right? So
A huge difference between LSU winning this game last year and UCLA winning this year is no injuries.
exactly. Getting steals, jumping in the passing lane, mucking up the game, making it tough on Lauren Betts. Exactly.
I could sum that up in one word: angel.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, back to this Gilbert thing, man. I don't like. Listen, man. Gilbert didn't make not one shot that whole game. She was an offer.
Yeah.
So that right there is craziness, man. Especially when Flau'jae was trying to be the facilitator and getting everybody involved, but it was getting out of hand. That's when she took over in the third quarter, cut the lead from 13-3, and then she went back to doing her facilitating thing again. And Gilbert just threw the game away.
Paige Beggars.
They big three was the only ones that I saw that was, actually being more efficient on the court because nobody else could buy a bucket. You know what I mean? UCLA, they had a lot more people that wanted it, and I don't remember. I think it was number 10. I think Lauren Betts was like, "Don't shoot it, don't shoot it," and Shorty just shot it because she's like a baller. Like, you ain't gonna tell me not to shoot. Shit went in. And all of a sudden, she starts cheering her on, like, oh, she didn't just try to stop her from shooting that three to, put the icing on the cake to be like, okay, UCLA's knocking off LSU. But that's what I saw. I mean, I didn't think that their game plan was more efficient in the second half because they was trying to get Lauren Betts in foul trouble, and she wasn't buying that shit. That's where the issue lied with LSU. They was trying to do way too much to try to get her in foul trouble instead of just playing their game and getting efficient stops. That's my only take on it based off what you guys were saying plus what I saw on the actual court.
Yeah, man. So the next game. What you guys thoughts on the next game?
It's UConn and then everybody else.
There you go. I was trying to figure out the name.
It's UConn and then everybody else.
What you mean UConn and everybody else?
You seen the tournament. You've been watching the game.
Yeah.
It's
He
UConn
ain't
and
wrong.
everybody else.
Because UConn going up against UCLA. So that's why I think most definitely it should be UConn versus Carolina. But I can't trust South Carolina hold water. Like, I don't know which South Carolina I'm going to get. But UConn, you know what you're going to get with Gino Auriemma. But Lauren Betts is an X factor that if she goes off in this game, then it was just UCLA's time.
Yeah.
You got Lauren Betts because LSU got a big three too, obviously, like we just discussed. But the difference is with UConn, okay, you got Lauren Betts, but what you gonna do when AZ hit you? What you gonna do when Sarah Strong get it going? What you gonna do when Paige
Sarah Strong is different?
What you gonna do when all three of them got it? What you gonna do when Caitlin Chen come out of nowhere and hit? And I was like, Caitlin Chen, but I ain't never seen you act like this on the court before. What you gonna do when she started looking like Tyra? I'm like, man,
but did you see the last game where AZ Fudd did go off into the last? I think it was the fourth quarter or the end of the third quarter. Like, she can't do that shit again.
Yeah, she was saving it for Tampa.
All right. That sound nice.
People be sleep on Peyton Chen. She played for
No, I go off, but yo, she surprised me
no,
because
she's a baller though. Like she transferred from
uh
Princeton.
Princeton.
No, wait, yeah, Princeton, right? Yeah, she transferred from Princeton because the Ivy League school, and Ivy Leagues, they, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So yeah, so
she
she had to,
helped the Princeton make it to the NCAA championship, and then they eventually lost. So then
yeah,
they
but
UConn has a grad program, so she was able to come into the grad program, and that's how she was able to continue playing. But yeah, she surprised me, and I had no idea.
nah, I'm a UConn fan. So when they get a player, I go. If I don't know about them, I go look.
Mm,
I go read up on them. I go check them. I
mm,
go see what's up. I do research, and I'm watching her. I'm watching her play over there, and I'm like, yo, she's a baller. She was
fact,
their best baller. She was
exactly.
over there balling. So to be real, she was playing better in Princeton than she is playing at UConn. So
Facts.
yeah, so when she do some stuff, I'm just like, yeah, it's bound to happen. But the reason why she's not playing as well is because it's so much. They got so much firepower. They got Sarah Strong, Paige, Fudd, Shade come off the bench and just get hot. She could get hot and just drop like 8 threes on you.
But I think that's due to like great coaching because Gino knew like she's eventually gonna go off. It's just a matter of time. You know what I mean? So I hats off to Gino Ariyama. He's a great motherfucking coach. He know how to push you to your point and be like, yeah, I can go through this brick wall with no scratches on me, no concussions. Yes, I can do it because my coach just told me I can. I don't know how he does it, but he,
Listen,
he
man.
he's definitely one of them ones.
Listen, man. It's something special about Gino because he basically staffs the WNBA, right?
And
Like,
that's a apple fact.
yeah. So it's like his players. If the way he coaches in a way that WNBA coaches want his players, right? So that's
I,
that.
I want to go feed off of that what you guys are saying about Gino, because I think what's even more impressive about it is nowadays to be doing it in the 2020s, because it's like it's one thing to do it back in the day, like, but to be old school, like Gino in his 70s, he not changing his ways. So it's like the same way he was, what are you doing? You idiot! Cut to the bed. He's still doing that with these kids. And
Yeah,
y'all know these kids is not the same kids that we were when we were kids, and they're
yeah.
not the same kids the generation before us.
They sensitive.
So to be coaching them hard like that, and for them to receive it and still, in the age of the transfer portal and NIL, and the first time the coach made you cry at practice, you ran home and you put your name in the portal. For him to be doing what he's doing right now, that's impressive, bro. To get the respect and the attention, the attentiveness out of those kids, everything like that, that's extremely impressive.
Facts, facts, facts. So yeah, this game obviously it was no juju. So we kind of already knew that this is probably going to be an end of the road for USC. I like the fact that they competed in this game. They played physical. The way they made it this far, because Kiki been playing trash. She had that one big game. She been,
I knew
she
somebody was gonna say that
yeah,
shit.
she the senior. She the senior. She been playing terrible. Just being honest. And I like Kiki. I like Kiki. I think she's gonna be a better pro. So I do
Yeah,
like Kiki, but being honest, she ain't been playing well in this tournament. But it's been the rookies, so I became a fan, and because I already knew about Kennedy Smith, obviously, and I already knew about a couple other players on this UConn team. I didn't know about Avery Howell, I think her name is.
Yeah, she was 5-star too. She was
Yes, I
yeah.
wasn't familiar with her game, but
Yeah, they brought in 3 5 stars. It was top 15 last year. It was
yeah,
Avery Howe, Kennedy Smith, and Kaylee Heckle. And
okay.
yeah,
And
all three of
and
them pooped out.
Heckle
My
I
was a
about
bad.
this.
baller.
There you go. I was about to say all of the freshmen was they the reason that they advanced, and I gotta give the big girl Ryan Marshall
Marshall.
some credit too, because Ryan Marshall, she was playing like she was the best big out there, right?
I got a question for you. Side note, in the draft right now, who you taking first? Are you taking when it comes to bigs? Are you taking Anissa or are you taking Kiki?
Anissa.
Anissa.
Okay.
Yeah, Anissa. I feel like Anissa probably did. Well, I gotta rethink it because a lot of people dropped out to draft. Anissa's probably the no, she is. She's probably the third best prospect now in this draft, right? In my opinion. So, you got Paige, you got Dominique Malanga. I think Anissa's the next best talent. Now, I don't think she's going to go that high. I think Kiki would probably go before her, right? So the thing about Kiki and Anissa is the player you want, right? She's the dog. She has everything she needs. Kiki has the size you want at that position, right? She has the tools, the physicalities that you want. So that's what people gonna have to really decide on. They're gonna have to look at Kiki and say, is this somebody who we could develop into the player we want, right? Because she got a lot of the game. Like I said, she just for whatever reason, and I want to, and I gotta give Anissa, I gotta give Kiki, excuse me, some credit because even though Kiki had a bad game in this, had bad games, multiple in this tournament, and even though this particular year she didn't necessarily look like she looked at Stanford, she still was putting up solid numbers. A lot of people, it just didn't look the same because she was playing next to Juju, right? And she wasn't playing like the go-to play, like the player we wanted to see all year was the player she was in the game that Juju got hurt. This is what people wanted to see from her. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to, she was able to give it to us that one game and couldn't really. She tried. You seen her out there. She just kept breaking that shot. So she's gonna have to get in the gym and work. She's gonna have to become more efficient and knock that shot now. So Kiki is definitely valuable. And one thing I do respect about Kiki, I'm saying she played bad on the offensive end. If you pay attention, she started to do the other things though. She was making sure she got every rebound. She was playing solid defense. She was
What?
trying to get still. She played physical. You don't think she
Hold
played
on,
solid
man. Cut that
defense?
out. No,
I think she
no, the
played solid
rebounding
defense.
thing. She only had 6 rebounds the whole game. What are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about. All right, I'm not saying I'm not looking at the stats. I'm not saying she dominated rebounding. What I'm saying is I see her making an effort to go get
Li-
boards. Like
Listen, man. She was trying to get boards, but she wasn't getting them. You know who was getting them? Sarah Strong. She had 17 rebounds. And she was trying to play defense, but you know who she wasn't stopping? Sarah Strong, who was
yeah, of
putting her in the
course.
spin cycle, crossing her up, doing the bodying her, doing everything. Sarah Strong made her look like a simpleton. Freshman was doing her up, she giving her the business. I was looking, I was like, she had my jaw dropping, like, what the heck is going on here?
Now that's a fact. Sarah Strong is nice, and Sarah Strong showed her value. She definitely showed that she's better than Kiki, right? Like if this was a draft already as a freshman, right? To me, Sarah Strong, with Paige with Paige going to the draft and with Juju out, like Sarah Strong might be the best player in the country now, right? Like, or at least she definitely top 5, top 3. I mean, she up there. I don't know who you would put above her, but she
Yeah,
played. She
I put
played
her
that
number
good.
one. Yeah.
She played that good this year as a freshman. So definitely, I'm not taking nothing away from her. But what I'm saying, only point I was making, I agree with everything you just said, Mo3. I was just saying I did see Kiki because what happens with a lot of players is if they shot not falling, they disappear. They don't do nothing else. So I did see Kiki trying to do other things. Of course, she was out there with Ryan Marshall, if I'm saying her name correctly, who did everything for USC, and Sarah Strong did everything for UConn. So Kiki didn't really get a lot of boards, but I did see her saying, let me do this, let me do that. She tried to affect the game in other areas. So I was just giving her that credit, saying that she
I
didn't
give
let
her
her
that.
shot. I was just saying she didn't let her shot affect, everything else she was doing. She probably didn't have a good game stat wise, but she did like give effort in other areas of the course. I just wanted to give her that credit because, like I said, a lot of players are disappear if they shot now fall and they won't do nothing else. But I agree with everything you just said, though. Listen, Sarah Strong is a beast, and she definitely that matchup is and it's not the first game she did that. Like I think the last time they played, she outplayed Kiki too. So Sarah Strong definitely a beast. And that's why I also want to give Marshall credit too, because like I said, if you don't know nothing else about women's basketball and you watch this game, you would have said Marshall is the best big on his team. You would have said
I ain't mean to laugh. I mean,
nah, but for real, you would have said
hey,
Kiki the
salute to
role
Ray
player.
Marshall, respect, because I'll be tough. I'm sure y'all be tough on her too. Like, great defensively, great rebounder, block shots. On offense,
Bro,
sometimes
they
Juju get her
tried
the
you
ball,
on
she look like she never
YouTube.
seen a basketball in her life. So
Yeah,
like to see her the way that she's performed ever since Juju, got hurt, she
she
really
was.
stepped up her
Yeah,
game in a way that, like you said, we expecting Kiki to step up like this. Because I seen the
exactly.
Kiki game last year at Stanford, 41 points in overtime in the NCAA tournament. Like I seen that in real time. So I'm expecting that
All
Kiki,
right.
especially since Juju go down. Nah, but Rhea Marshall show up on offense. She making her layups now. She making her free throws now. I'm like, okay, all right. And she already had the defense and the rebounding. So Sarah Shawn to me though, she reminds me of like, and this gonna sound crazy, but Zion with a jump shot.
I respect that.
Zion can do everything, bro. And people don't give him that credit because, politics. But like he can handle the ball. His
Yeah.
passing ability is crazy. His defense, his rebounding is there. His IQ, understanding, and feel of the game. He knows when he can take over the game, get to his spot, everything like that. The only thing holding Zion back, I mean, is
It's
his
Zion.
health. Is
Is
Zion.
it
Yeah.
politics or understanding the business? Because I can't.
Oh, okay. As
I can't because you go into the league and somebody trying to give you the jewels, but you like, nah, I got this because you're raw talent, and somebody who's a workhorse will probably, help the janitor pick up the trash or whatever, do all the little things where you think that you can't, that you're above that. Like, come on. We all know basketball is something that you played when you were young, but it's also a business. So you can't negate both. I mean, you can't negate one for the other. That's all I'm saying. I did see Zion game. I'm like, what's the big hype about Zion? And I saw one of his games. I'm like, yo, this man is nasty with it. Why is he not getting enough, you know, notoriety? Like, we still talking about LeBron James. We should be talking about the next generation, which is probably Zion Williams, but he can't get healthy. And a lot of these people nowadays, they get paid way too much. They don't want to hear nothing from you, old man. I got this.
100%. 100%.
You,
You
Yeah.
you
know?
can't do what I can do. I'm like, I can't, but I'm trying to
That's
school you
crazy.
to the business side of basketball so you can have some longevity, knucklehead.
No OGs. But I mean, but the thing with Sarah, like you say, the opposite of that Zion's struggling with in the pros, because he never
Damn, what
really had
happened,
an
bro?
OG like an equal to look to. Like
They
if he
hating on
had,
your stream.
yeah, if he was traded to the Lakers instead of Luca, he would have had that LeBron, you know what I'm saying, mentorship, everything like that. Hey, this how you move. Da, 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 da. On the opposite side of that, Sarah Strong, she is already like a humble, quiet type person. Her mom was a professional. Her mom still in the NBA, and her dad, kind of like Joe Jackson her all the way up, just like AZ dad did. Joe Jackson, AZ. So it's like them jokers right there, them two, they like head on straight. You ain't gonna see them in no trouble. They're gonna be humble, keep their mouth shut. They only focus on basketball. You know what I'm saying? So that's why Sarah is going to, I guess, realize the potential that Zion had all along in the pros and in her entire career. So I don't know. I'm excited. I get excited to watch her because she could do everything on the court. Like how you be the biggest, most dominant player and then can shoot the lights out. How you the best? That's like Wimbenyama, bro.
Yeah,
Like
she
that's
different.
unfair.
She different, man. And she a freshman, so she got 4 years to get better. Like that's crazy. She gonna be a problem.
If I'm her, I'm leaving after junior year
You think so?
because
I
they're
mean,
gonna
it
win this
depends
year.
on what the CBA is and everything.
Yeah.
Because I'm not mad at the girls staying in college. The girls who decide to stay, I'm not mad at them because I understand it. Like, why not build your brand more before you go? So it depends on what the CBA where that's at, and how much they getting and everything like that. But
I
I
honestly felt
like how my
like,
old.
see, okay, go ahead, Meek. Go ahead, Meek.
I like how my OG Dag, I'm forgetting her name right now. But she was like, nah, you stay in college because that's where you build your brand. Because when you leave early, look at the NBA version. You don't know much about these players. They're one and done. They get their little shine in college, do whatever, and then they bounce. But then you get your notoriety in the playoffs. The WNBA is only short term. It's like May to maybe September. So you not getting that much of a shine because the WNBA's I said that from the beginning, is like their promotion is trash, hot trash, and you got to do all that stuff yourself. So you doing way too much. You staying in college, you doing Snapchat, Twitter, whatever these others. Because I'm still stuck on Facebook and Instagram, so I'm old head now. But you got all these social media shits and you're building up your brand. So the longer you stay in college and you get that notoriety, you probably do something crazy like Angel Reese blocking somebody's shot and holding her shoe in one hand. It was like, who is this chick? And then she go, you know, bust one of the girls from Iowa who's supposed to be the next best thing, the great white height, bust her ass in the final four. And now you got something where in the championship, my bad, not the final
You
four,
ain't
the
gonna have the
championship.
KKK come after me. I'm hot in my face. Hold on.
Ah,
I did
Caitlin
not.
Clark.
Rashawn Milligan did not say this.
Caitlin Clark is a great player, but you talking about getting shine. If Caitlin Clark didn't bag her finger in somebody's face, nobody would have
Why
been
they
like,
hating
yo,
on you,
she
bro?
got some umph. She got some spice. And she can shoot the three. She shoot the three like Steph Curry. Everybody comparing her to Steph Curry now. Because she can shoot a long range three. And she showed a little bit of umph. She played like an actual baller. And then you got
Stupid
another person.
autocorrect. I said, why are they hating on you, bro?
Hey, you know who? Can't nobody see me. I'm John Cena right now.
you
Don't
said
nobody
you
know
said
my
why they
face.
you said why they not hating on you, Mo3?
Listen, Caitlin Clark is a good player, but the reason why they should stay in the college is because they get more of their shine better than when they leave. Because when they leave, the WNBA is only for like 44 games or whatever. That's my closing argument. I landed the plane.
I ain't touching that. They gonna call me a monkey. Um.
Ooh, ooh,
So.
I don't give no fucks.
I ain't touching that one. Hey, more power to you. More power to you. But yeah, I feel like actually the thing with the entire Brandon argument with going to the league and stuff like that, I think I want to say personally that Angel and Caitlin changed that. I feel like if you have the motion, if you built the motion in college, it's gonna follow you to the W. Like because everybody was worried about Caitlyn and Angel last year. They was like, oh, they go to the W, they're gonna lose his money, they're gonna lose his attention. They just turned the W up more. I mean,
Yeah.
so it's like if you got the motion, you're gonna take it with you to the W. We haven't really seen that in past years and stuff like that. Like, think about Candace Parker. She had, you know what I'm saying, she was the face of college basketball at Tennessee. She go to LA. Okay, I feel like in the women's basketball space, she's still talked about, but on a wide range, she wasn't talked about as much as she was when she was a face at Tennessee. Maya Moore, same thing at UConn. A lot of other players from UConn and stuff like that. It just wasn't the same when they were in school. Brianna Stewart, she won ESPY when she was in, her first couple years with Seattle. In her speech, she said, we had all this media at UConn. We always led every single episode of SportsCenter. I get to the W, it's the exact opposite. We have no media here. But please, cover us. This was, of course, before Asia Wilson and everybody else, and even though Asia and Stewie the same age. But this was before kind of like the great push that we see now. So I feel like Angel and Caitlin kind of changed that whole thing of like, if you got motion, you're going to have motion wherever you are.
Facts. Good points, y'all. Good points. Um, let's get into the final four though. South Carolina, Texas. What's your thoughts on this game?
I'm nervous. I want South Carolina to win, but I'm nervous because, like I said, I'm not sure which version of South Carolina I'm gonna get. They not going to not play their style of basketball, but they did get beat by Texas. Let's keep it a whole buck. They have more experience in the Final Four because they won one last year. Similar team, just not different pieces because they don't got Camila Cardoza in the paint. But they know what it takes to win. That's why I'm not counting them out. But they still making me nervous.
Facts, facts, facts. Anybody else? Or y'all want me to go next? I'll go next. Um, I think South Carolina will win this game. Like I said earlier, my issues with Texas is the fact that they rely so much on defense. We know defense and rebounders win championships, but you got to be able to put the ball in the hole too. And to me, they don't shoot enough threes. And I feel like defensively, Texas and South Carolina kind of balance each other out. So I think they both going to play solid defense. But I think offensively, uh, South Carolina is going to be able to have a little extra gear that Texas won't be able to go to. Right? They're going to have Tessa Johnson to be able to knock down shots. They're going to have Tahina Powell to be able to knock down shots. They're going to have Malaysia Fawali. She's going to come in and have a punch. You got Joyce Edwards. So I just feel like they have more weapons to do more things. And of course, South Carolina, they well coached by Don Stelly. They've been here before. And they normally they comfortable in these moments, so they're not gonna. I don't know if it's gonna be an issue in this game, but we've seen Madison Booker disappear in big games before. But even if she don't disappear, I just don't feel like they're gonna have enough scoring. They just don't. They don't shoot the ball. So I got South Carolina winning this game. But again, to Mika Chu's point, I just named all those players that can do it. I don't know which one is going to step up because in each game is somebody different, right? In um, each game is somebody new. So I don't know who is going to be the person that's going to do the scoring for South Carolina. If South Carolina do get beat, though, it's because nobody stepped up out of all those players I mentioned, right? No, for whatever reason, everybody had a bad game shooting wise, and Texas is going to be able to play Texas game and beat them. But I don't see that happening. I think somebody will step up. I just don't know who because they do it by committee.
Yeah. I'm gonna go right now because I gotta dip. Appreciate y'all for having me on tonight. I'll be back on whenever you guys need me again. What did I want to say? I wanted to say, I think, I got South Carolina for the sake of my bracket. I ain't even gonna hold you. I don't have no elaborate thing because South Carolina did not look good in these last two games, and Texas they've been holding it down a little bit. You know, we have to respect Rory Harmon for what she's done. She's like a top 3 assist leader in the entire country for the entire year and stuff like that. Of course, we give Maddie Booker all the attention and things of that sort. And sometimes Maddie can be a bit sometimes on the offensive end. Sometimes he's Kevin Durant. But other times she like, dang, where is Maddie Booker? Especially against South Carolina earlier this season and stuff like that. But if we seen anything from her, it's one of those things of like, she struggles one game, people talk about it. Is she gonna show up in the next game? The next time they see them jokers, she gonna turn up and she gonna show up. That's what she did the last time earlier this year with South Carolina. The first time she seen him and second time she seen him. So I expect to see that Madison Booker this time around. And I expect Texas to give him a good game. However, some way, somehow, South Carolina keeps pulling it out. It ain't going to work against UConn in the national championship game, but I think it could work in the semifinal.
Yeah, we agree on that. If you want, Rashad, you could leave now or you could just stay maybe 5 more minutes because I'm ending the show. We're just going to get into the next game and then the show is ended. So it's up to you.
Okay. I'll stay for the 5.
Yeah, just letting you know because I'm
Stay for the pod.
Mo 3, you want to get your thoughts in and we go to the next game? Mo 3, you back with us?
Yeah, you heard me?
No. Oh, yeah, you now.
I said, oh wait, I said, they shut your YouTube down, right?
Yeah, I was gonna keep the show going, and not mention it. But basically, what happened was, remember how you kept saying, "What's that sound?" I didn't know y'all could hear the sound in the background. So basically, what happened is every time I switched the game, they unmuted it for whatever reason. I'll mute it just to play the highlights, and then when I go to another game, it's unmuted. So now that little bit of sound
Oh,
that little bit of sound shut it down. So hopefully what I'm thinking is I could upload this. It's not live anymore. So basically we just doing a recorded show. So I was hoping I could just upload it, but that's basically what happened. It is what it is. Things happen. I ain't worried about it.
You got to stop showing them highlights on stream.
No, that's not what happened because I read it. It was the sound. It was a thing. Yeah. So what happens is I don't do YouTube. If I play YouTube, then it's gonna strike. It's gonna be a strike against me. So I either do IG or this was the NCAA actual the actual NCAA website. But what happened was it kept playing the sound. So it shut me down. So I was like, oh, because I was like, well, I got 0 viewers. That ain't make no sense to me. So while I was talking, I did research. I said, oh, okay. So
You're putting me on. I appreciate that. I was like, okay, all right, that's interesting.
Yeah, but hopefully, I'm hoping when we end the show, after this next segment, I'll be able to upload it. So I'm hoping that happens. But Mo 3, what's your thoughts on Texas versus South Carolina?
I think it's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a defensive game on Texas side because that's what they do.
Yeah,
But I don't know. It's South Carolina been iffy in this tournament, man. They've been barely surviving. They've been lucky, to tell you the truth. They've been lucky they haven't been
that's a
knocked out
fact.
already.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how long that luck is gonna last. You know what I'm saying? And just like Bro said, I don't remember his name.
Rashad.
Rashad, yeah, said that's not gonna work against a team like UConn. I don't even think it'll work against UCLA. Like I don't know, man. South Carolina, unless they just been playing possum this whole time, I don't know. I think they might lose.
So you think you got them losing against Texas? You got Texas
Yeah, I think they
advancing.
might lose. No, I got South Carolina winning, but I just have a feeling that they might lose.
We all.
Huh?
Yeah, no, good.
Just because the way they've been playing this whole tournament and the way that Texas has been playing, it's like they got that lockdown D, and they South Carolina can't even play. They play D on themselves. So if you got lockdown D and then you're playing D on yourself, like that's a recipe. I don't think they're going. I don't think they could win. I don't know, man. But
Listen,
I had
man.
them win. I had them winning before the tournament, though. So
Listen, man, it sounds like we all agree. Mika True says she's nervous, right? She don't know when South Carolina going to show up. Rashad said he got South Carolina basically because of his bracket, but, it's South Carolina, right? But he's, he wouldn't be surprised if Texas get it. And then I said the same thing. I'm like, yo, listen, I believe South Carolina is going to end up outmatching Texas because I feel like both teams are going to play defense, right? So they're going to cancel each other out there. I think offensively, South Carolina got to get at Texas don't go to, though. But I won't be surprised if Texas win this game because, like I said, the fact that South Carolina is so unpredictable, I don't know which player is going to step up. None of them could step up. They could have one of those nights where nobody step up and you go home, right? Moving on to the next game because I know Rashad got to get out of here. You got to lead us off, Rashad.
Okay, for sure, for sure. So UCLA, UConn, like I said, it's UConn and everybody else in this tournament, and I don't think it's going to be any different in this game. You know, we had RC on earlier when we were live on YouTube, and he was asking, "What do you think about Kiki Rice?" It seemed like sometimes he ain't gonna get it done. If Janiah Barker ain't gonna be Janiah Barker for Texas A&M, that ain't gonna be enough. If Lauren Betts the only thing that show up for UCLA, but if she gets frustrated and gets in foul trouble like she did early in that LSU game,
Hmm.
I don't think Haquez's sister gonna do what she did in that LSU game again. Not against, and if she does, what you gonna do when AZ come back? What you gonna do when Griff grab a couple rebounds? What you gonna do when Sarah Strong? What you gonna do when Chin? UConn, them jokers can go. We ain't even talk about Caroline Ducharme, and she been like the backup of the backup of the backup this year, coming back from injury. So, and Ducharme, if y'all remember a couple years ago, she was that sharp shooter, that snipe for them. So UConn can go about 10, 12 deep.
Hmm.
UCLA, they got some players for sure, but I just think I don't think I think the lights are too bright for them. I got UConn.
Listen, man. I think it comes down to I. I don't know what Lauren Betts gonna do against Sarah Strong. You get what I'm saying? Even though I know they're not gonna be guarding each other, Alfie probably be out there, but like I said, somebody gonna have to guard Sarah Strong, and if Sarah Strong brings something that Anissa Murrow don't, and that's consistent outside shooting, right? Anissa Murrow's, I think she hit a three in the last game, if I'm not mistaken, but um, Sarah Strong, she could do it all. You get what I'm saying? And I think that's going to be an issue for bets. Um, I got UConn winning this game. Like I said, um, UCLA can win it if they have, if they play their best game and Lauren Betts come out and she dominate. I just don't see that happening. I see Paige Beckers and I see Sarah Strong being too much for them. I see them two going off again, and then obviously the others. Az Fudd is gonna knock down some shots. Katie Chen is gonna knock down some shots, um, and they're gonna play solid defense. And I feel like they're gonna get the win. Right, like I said, it's easy to get Lauren Betts in foul trouble if you know how to attack bigs. I got UConn in this.
I got UConn too for the notes that you said, but I really I haven't watched too much of UCLA games because I was following USC because of Juju. But if Lauren Betts, I think her name is, turns it up to another level, which I haven't seen, then I would see it be a nail biter, and they might be able to overcome UConn, but that's crazy because Paige Beckers could probably go for another 40 piece, and it'll be a wrap. You know what I mean? Because UConn is solidly yoked. They definitely AZ Fun is not gonna go like 0 for 9 again in like this game. She's definitely going to shoot like she's supposed to, and UConn is gonna pull this out. I think it will be because UCLA finally made it to the Final Four. The lights are gonna get too bright for them, is what I'm assuming. But UConn is just gonna win. I'm gonna say fuck it. They're gonna win easily, hands down. Like probably beat them by like 20.
Mo three.
Yeah, I don't know about beating by 20, but I mean it's possible. But I think they could. But I do feel like they'll easily win. And I think people are putting too much stock in bets. I think if bets, I think bets could have 40 and they will still lose for the fact that UConn's guards are defensive demons, especially Paige. Paige out here getting like three, four, five steals every game. So she did last game. She was just picking everybody. That's how they got that big lead. She was just picking everybody pockets. Here, let me get that. Give me this. Give me that. And she blocked shots too. She was like, "Oh, you trying to get on score on me? Nope, get that out of here." Then you got KK Arnold just out there stealing, picking people pockets left and right, jumping in the passing lanes. And you got Fudd out there surprising me with that, surprised the hell out of me with that defense she came back with. She came back from injury with some super defense. I
Yeah,
don't know if that I don't know where that defense came
yeah,
from, but she been playing defense like crazy since she came back from that injury. You know what I'm saying? So they guards. I'm and Chen. She's not like a super defensive threat, but she plays solid defense. You know what I'm saying? So like I don't see. I feel like UConn could be like, all right, whatever, man. Let Betts get all the points, but nobody else scoring anything. And Barker ain't gonna do shit with Strong. Strong going Strong gonna do it the same way she did Kiki. Gonna have her looking like a simpleton. And I just feel like it's about the others, and I don't think the others. And that's another thing where UConn guards are tall too, and UCLA guards are on the smaller side. Especially their best shooter is 5'6".
yeah, yep. She not even 5'6", bro. She 5'4".
Well, they stay 5'6". I know when they say that, I'm like, man, she look like a munchkin. Like,
Yeah, she like five
yeah,
four.
but you know what I'm saying. But hey, but
I'm
I'm just
five
saying,
two. They
like,
put me at 5'5" when I was playing. Yeah. I'm like
so
five
I'm
five
like,
where?
yeah, because she stand next to somebody that's 5'8", and I'm like, man, she look hella short. But yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, that's their best shooter. Like, I just think like UConn could be like, because Gino is a shoot operator. He could be like, you know what? Let her get all her stuff. And another thing Lauren Betts has problem with is uh shoot conditioning. You saw the game before the LSU game where she was like she's tired. She was on the bench. They got her saying, "Oh man, I'm hella tired." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they could tire her out. You know what I'm saying? So she could score like 30 and get tired because they got two big bodies to throw at her. They got three really. They got Alfie, they got Ice Brady, they got shoot Afro Puff Girl, man, the one that came back from injury.
I know you talking about the black girl. I can't
Yeah,
think of her name.
yeah. Damn, I can't remember her name right now. That's bad. I'm a UConn fan. I can't remember her name. But yeah, they got three big bodies to throw at her. You know what I'm saying? They got 15 fouls to waste on bets. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? But I just think it's about the others, and I don't think the others. UConn defense is just too good. And then on offense, their offense is good too. So they're gonna make them work on hard on both sides of the floor. And I don't. I just feel like they're not gonna do it, man. They haven't been looking that great in the tournament.
Caden Samuels. Is that who you talking about?
Katie Lou Samuels, nah, that's the
No, no,
one
no.
with the two. That's the
Caden
one.
Samuels. Caden Samuels with the Afro puffs. That's her name.
No, 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 no. That's not the one that came back from injury. That's
now
the that's
you talking about Aubrey Griffin.
Yeah,
Oh,
Aubrey Griffin. She got
Griff.
the one. She got
Okay,
the one.
okay.
She got the one Afro puff. Samuel's got the two.
Yeah, yeah. Uh huh. Uh huh. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Aubrey Griffin. They got Griffin. Samuel's a little too small for for uh for Betts. I think Betts will eat her up for dinner. But Aubrey Griffin, Ice Brady, and Jenna, those three. You know what I'm saying? If worst case scenario, got three fouls. Like make her work for it. Got 15 fouls to make her work for it.
You know best to get frustrated.
Yeah.
But
Gino
listen, man.
playing for all that. It's all good. That's why I can't knock that UCLA gonna do something spectacular.
But listen, man. That's the show. I got just for the um just to end the show. I got UConn winning it all. I think you already said, Rashad. You said the same thing. You got UConn winning it all. Mika, who you got?
UConn. I want
UConn.
I want Dawn Staley to win another one, but I think this is Paige's year. So I got
Yeah.
UConn.
Listen, I'm not writing South Carolina out. I think it's possible that they could win again. They they just so unpredictable. They might have their best game in the championship game. You never know.
I'm counting South Carolina out.
Okay, you don't even think they
Oh,
got a chance. Got you. Mo
I'm
3.
giving them the clickbait. If they win, they could clip me. Oh, Rashad, you said we wouldn't do it. Yeah, I did. I watched the Elite Eight in the Sweet 16. Yes.
What you got, Mo? Mo 3. You might have lost Mo 3. I think Mo 3 got. He said he a UConn fan, so I think he got UConn. That's probably why he not saying nothing. And he probably like you. He probably like my pick. So I think we all got we all got. Yeah, who you got winning it all, Mo?
UConn, obviously. I don't even think if I don't think it doesn't I don't even think it matters which one of them get there, Texas or South Carolina get there, because
You think either
one
UCLA or UConn winning it?
no, I got UConn. Yeah, to tell you the truth, either one of them,
Yeah, that's
whoever
you.
makes it there, I think they're
They
gonna
winning
win.
it all.
But we ain't talking about UCLA because they're gonna lose. So
You got UConn.
UConn is gonna be either Texas or South Carolina. South Carolina, because they already got the confidence boost from the game earlier. They beat them by like 30, and they was up by like 40. You know what I'm saying? So they and Paige didn't even have a particularly good game. She had
Yeah,
like
she was facilitating.
she had one of her worst games of the season. So that right there
AZ
must make
Fudd.
them feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like they could just easily beat them. Like, oh, we didn't even need Paige to whoop y'all butts. And then
Right.
Texas is that what you were saying earlier. They're offensively challenged, especially from the three ball. They don't score enough to battle it out with UConn. UConn is one of the highest scoring teams in the league, and they got
Yeah.
that fast paced game too. They push the ball, like they push it. As soon as they do get a rebound, they're looking up court to see who they could do. They push it. They push the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like from left to right side of the court, they just keep pushing the ball. So
Right.
I don't think either of them could beat UConn. They might have a chance if UCLA win, but we're not going to talk that up.
Yo, listen, man. I want to thank everybody on my panel. Appreciate you, Mo 3. As always, great analysis on the game. Rashad, we've been trying to lock in for a little while now. I'm happy I finally got you on the show. You didn't disappoint. Appreciate your analysis. And Mikachu, you already know. I appreciate your analysis, especially with you being a woman and especially with you playing the game. I always appreciate what you bring to the show. And, obviously you from the city, so you was going to bring that Brooklyn with you. You know what I'm saying? But hopefully, listen, this never happened to me before. This is new, so we're going to figure this out. Hopefully, I get to keep the footage because this was a dope show. But if this, for whatever reason, I don't get the footage, this is a ghost show. And we just know how great this show was. We just going to look at each other. Remember that show we did? Nobody got to see? That show was fire. So we're going to see after. Hopefully YouTube fucks with me and I'm able to keep the footage because this show was fire. I definitely appreciate all of y'all. I had fun. I think it was great analysis, and we broke this thing down. So the world need to see this. So hopefully YouTube allows me to put the footage out. And you learn. I never used NCAA before. You looking at the highlights, but unfortunately, it kept the sound. Every time I mute it, if I go to another video, the sound will come back, and that's what killed me. So we'll see. But once again, appreciate you guys, and if this does get out to the public, everybody have a blessed night.